Well, we got this figured out, I think. We're a lot better on the water, guys, but I think we've got each other here. Wesley, good to see you guys. It's been a little while.
Yeah.
It's been a while, but I remember that event, and it's starting to come back in my memory, and I'm actually pretty excited to see this deal. You guys remember that Patriot Cup we did last fall? You ready to watch it finally?
Yeah, I'm ready to watch it, but I'm ready to forget it all at the same time.
I want to watch it. This has been the first time we have seen this. It's always fun to go back and like you said, Brent, relive those days and see exactly what happened. For some guys, it's a good thing to remember. Some, other guys could be bring up nightmares. But either way, it definitely is fun to watch. And they're always such exciting shows.
The thing I'm most looking forward to is being able to ask each one of you specific questions at specific times when you're sticking them in the face. So that's what I'm more excited about.
Put us on the spot. I know how these events are, and it seems like usually I'm the guy down there towards the bottom. I'm always wondering what guys were doing to catch them. So I got to be a little more relaxed in this, so it should be enjoyable to watch. But it's always fun to watch and see what guys were doing, because as soon as this thing gets rolling, things are going to come back to my mind. Because if I remember right, my day did not start out quite like I'd hoped. So
before this gets started, what's your guess that Brent Chapman's catching them on before we even see this? What's your guess?
Before we see it?
Yeah.
Do I get two or do I only get one?
You get one choice. I'm going to get one. I'm going to choose mine.
Bladed jig.
I'm going to say he caught him on a square bill.
That was my other. If I got two, that's what it was going to be. So.
Well, let's see how you get it.
I bet I caught at least one or two on each of those, but I can't remember for sure. I know it wasn't the key bait, but I really I'm anxious to even refresh my own memory.
Yeah.
We're fixing to find out.
Yep.
So are we ready to do this? Let's get this thing going.
Let's
watch the Patriot Cup.
It's a true challenge to get to any cup event.
There's something really exciting about going to a new body of water.
Totally blind when you show up at the lake. It's just raw fishing at its best.
There's so many different scenarios running through your mind. You're trying to figure out, where the heck am I going to get the next bite?
It's all about who can figure out the pattern quickest and who can capitalize the fastest. Oh my gosh.
Wealthy.
Oh, I got two of them.
Yes, sir.
Gosh, darn it. Chunk right there.
In the world is that, huh?
Somebody called it a double?
Listen, that's the same thing when I've been watching this for. I'm like, where did they find water running in? That's just blowing me
up. There's a waterfall on that place.
If you take a left up there on the right and then go back around to the about 45-degree bend, and it was over here.
Oh yeah,
remember that spot? I had never fished Fort Gibson before, and I, honest to goodness, go running up the lake. I'm like, well, here's a creek. And I go riding back in this creek, and I'm like, well, there's a waterfall. I have to fish here.
I fished Fort Gibson a fair amount of times, and I didn't know there was a waterfall in there. So,
I think that was one of my demises, because I fished the exact creek that we went out of in '99. The force hooked up there, and I fished it, and I blistered them in that creek. So I think that was part of my demise. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it out there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'd never been there before, and I'm like, I just go riding up the lake. It was the biggest creek I saw that looked like a creek. And
it had poles out front of it, didn't it?
Had what?
It had some poles out front of the entrance, didn't it?
No.
It was the next one up, right behind that island.
Yes. Yep. Yep. There was. And I've watched one of the other rounds, and apparently Burge was in there one of the earlier days too.
Him and Joe Lee, I think they both were in there.
Huh.
Yeah. I did throw above it too, but I don't remember. I never caught one above it.
That would have made for some good footage. Have you ever done that before?
I threw over a bunch of them, but I don't reckon I've ever caught one.
Hey, you know the one in Little River? Dude, I threw a spinnerbait one time above the one in Little River and wound it over the dam, and it was a 6-pounder chased it over the dam. We had tried 5 times to get back up over the dam, and it couldn't get back over it.
No way.
Yeah, I swear, and there's things like
large
like a salmon.
Yeah.
And no information. The anglers had no idea.
When were we there, guys? Do you remember?
September or something.
Early October.
Hey, that Chad McGee, he's a sharp dressed fella, ain't he?
He is short dress. And then you got Marty.
Not so much for
I ain't got
Marty.
much hair. Marty ain't got any.
I think for that event, I was trying to look like Marty. I think my little bit of hair I shaved off for that event.
You know, just a little closer cut and some glasses, you might look just like you.
You gotta have them glasses
A
on.
little white goatee on there.
Yeah. Yep.
What was crazy about this is when we launched, you know, never in a million years, you know, in Muskogee, there's so many fisheries, did I think we would go to Fort Gibson, let alone go to my most favorite part of Fort Gibson and launch in the creek that's my most favorite creek. So,
see, disadvantage too, right there.
Yeah. If he didn't win, it'll look bad.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but you got to remember, we did have Jason Christie up there against us in that
We
day
did.
as well.
Yeah.
So, we did have a local stick here as well.
I was a little shocked by his performance too.
Yeah.
What was really kind of cool about this too is typically in the fall we don't get these kind of flooded conditions. You know, last year was kind of a unique year as far as flooding, and I can't tell you if I've ever fished a fall event where the water has been so high on any fishery.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. That's something we never deal with around here, is it, Wesley?
No, just I can remember a couple of times, like remember a hurricane come in at Bugs Island one time on that Everstart Championship, or usually it's a hurricane or something that causes that around here, you know. But
There's old Matt Lee trying to look like old Marty.
Yeah.
I thought it was Marty.
Well, I'm going back in here. Saw a bunch of birds. Go back in here and see if we see any schooling activity.
There was plenty of birds, and there was a 10 billion shad, wasn't there?
A lot of bait.
Yeah. There was so many birds standing there where I didn't know where to start.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You didn't eliminate any water by looking for bait.
I think every white egret in the whole state of Oklahoma was at Fort Gibson.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. But you know, it's a testament to how good that fishery is too, with the amount of bait that's in there. You know, kind of the birds will show you roughly where the bass are because they're kind of feeding them thing. But there was so many shad in that lake, it was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. Which you know, they've had high water there. Of course, that's a lot closer to where you live, Brent. But it seems like they've had high water there, man, the past a whole bunch of springs in a row. I don't know just how many. And the bass and the bait, everything's had just great spawns and really put a lot of fish back.
I think in the Midwest, from the flooding we've had, we're gonna really reap the benefits for the next several years to come.
It'd been high since Bull Shoals was high when we was at Bull Shoals, so it's been high ever since like June. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's I remember the thing I remember a lot that's coming back to me now watching this is that I caught a bunch of bass that was this big.
Oh yeah,
I mean, from that big up to 12 ounces, just unbelievable numbers of them. So that place is they're they're growing.
Maybe that means we need to have a cup event here next year.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that kind of threw me off too is when I was there in '99, I caught a ton of like quality spotted bass, like 2.5 pounders, and I tried to dial in on that a little bit, and I never could get it going. I couldn't figure out why. I figured the upper portion of the river.
I think I might catch a few spots in the field, but I can't remember for sure.
I know I did. I remember. I'm gonna say I caught a 3 pounder. I'm gonna say I caught a 3 pound spot.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I didn't.
It might have been my biggest fish today. Might have been a spot.
Well, I did catch a 3 pounder, but it wasn't a spotted bass.
What am I doing?
Oh, here we go. Now we're getting the goods right here.
I'm talking about what I might be fishing with. So.
Yeah,
but I guarantee you, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there.
Might have thrown a square bill there.
Hey, what kind of square bill was that?
That is a Weston lure square bill. Kind of a
what?
A European square bill.
Oh, so you're bringing out the European artillery on us? Is what it was?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Yep. See, and there's a little deeper diver.
They kind of
Hey,
look like
Wesley, you know what
Fat
that is,
Joe
don't you? You know what a spinner date is, right?
You don't know what that is.
He's got 1 or 2 on that.
I
Yeah,
ain't never caught one on it.
maybe a bladed jig on there as well. So
Yes.
You should call that crankbait Fat Joe Slim is what you should call it.
I like that. I'll remember that.
Fat Joe
Fat
Slim.
Joe Slim.
That's the first time I've ever seen one, but you know what it kind of looked like, Wesley?
You go ahead. I'll agree with you probably.
It looked like a perky. You remember a perky?
Yeah, it did. It looked just like a perky.
I don't even know what a
Exactly.
perky is. I'll have
Yeah,
to
you're
look
from the
that
wrong
up.
part of the country.
Yeah. That's really what it looked like. It's kind of a,
That's a Tennessee River deal, isn't it?
it's just an old balsa wood square wheel. Old one.
Hey guys, I guess we're getting ready to get fishing here in a
I
minute.
think so.
You saw the intros of all of us, and
I think if my memory serves me right, I think Ott's the one that gets off to a blazing start right here.
Yeah, right. And well, I mean, you done saw where I was headed.
No, I know I am, but I think from me being at the bottom toward the end of the first round, I think you were leading. I'm not clear.
I think
100%,
so.
but I think you were leading after the first round.
Yeah, this was one tournament where in these cups it never works that way. But dude, I literally drove to them and had no idea where I was going. Never been there.
You know what? Usually when you do that and you start catching rounds
Yeah,
back,
usually you're hard to
the rest of the day.
Yeah, more times than not.
Major League Fishing's Elimination Round 3 begins now.
There we go.
Mhm.
Mine's in.
Yeah, Bertrand started in there too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, when I was running back up after the first period, up that way for the second round or second period, I saw him and you both going there, and I'm not going in there because they got it covered. So trying to find my own deal.
Who catches the first fish? Do you remember? Was that Ott? Take a wager or?
Don't remember.
Hey, I went so far up that creek that I can't even believe there was that much water back there. Before I found a pond and everything back there. Never caught one out of a pond.
Apparently, where I was, Jason told me later because he done the same deal. He had seen me and Bertrand go in there, and he had said that there's actually some signs back there that say like no boats or something, and
But they were covered up with.
but they were covered
water.
up. They were underwater.
Hey, remember? So this was Bertrand's first cup event ever.
That's right.
Yeah,
So,
and I
but
didn't know that.
he's learned because he's fished some of the Bass Pro Tours. It's always funny to watch guys get up there and
Who's that behind him over there? Ott?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, Ott catches first scoreable bass.
Maybe so. If I can get him in, let's see if I land him.
Ott always lands them, doesn't he? Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
The
Look at
heck
that.
is that a largemouth?
That was a large mouth.
That is a good start.
It looks just like Little River almost.
Yeah.
It does. If the lake was down.
Yeah, exactly.
Did Christy just say he knew where you were?
Yeah,
Did you go in there? Is that what he
I
was
think
saying?
he did.
And you never fished there, huh? You just happened to stumble on them.
I had no idea. Hey, actually, Jason told me too that when the lake's down at normal level, he's been up in there in a jet boat.
That our pros will have to solve.
Hmm. Well, that just kind of rhymes with you, jet boat, odd boat.
Yeah.
I think we got Marty.
God, he looks so good with those amber lens glasses on. Yes. I don't know whether he's going to shoot me or talk to me with those glasses on.
Marty, just analyze it this way. There was so much cover in the lake that you just couldn't fish it all. That's what
Yep.
there were so many places for those fish to hide. It wasn't even funny.
It was.
You know that had to be bad on those trees as high as the water stayed all year. Because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, some of them bushes didn't even have green stuff on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there's what I couldn't believe you couldn't catch them on that right there.
Yep.
I caught one on it. That was it.
Even up in there where I was, and dude, they'd feed on up near the surface once in a while. But if your bait was breaking the top, you would not catch one.
It was really weird, wasn't it?
It was.
On up in the morning, we're freaking go there now.
He's saving his good spots.
How can you have a good spot when you ain't never even been there at that time? I mean,
I was about to ask you guys that.
Confidence.
I've never saved a good spot.
No.
dude, I so wanted to catch one right there where we took off from. Never. I mean,
Well, I might
think
show
I was
you.
getting because of the other 2 rounds I watched. You know,
I,
you got to remember this is the 3rd day that this has been pounded on, and we're the cleanup crew.
yeah, I haven't got a chance to see those other rounds. So
Well, let's just trust me. Some of them caught them good.
Did they right there? I've watched a little bit of them. I haven't watched much.
You'll see. I might catch a couple right there. They didn't catch them all.
Well, I'm just saying, if you go back and watch the first 2 rounds, let's just put it this way: Jacob Wheeler busted them right down through there several times in the day,
Interesting.
and he caught them on a buzzbait.
Really?
He did. He always does.
Always.
He apparently has a different buzzbait than what I've got anyway.
Yeah, he's got that Wheeler luck blade.
Yeah.
You can get one of them. He sells them.
Oh, I got them.
Maybe he'd give me one.
He might.
Hey, Wheeler, we need some of your buzzbaits. Can you set us up?
Nobody's home.
That was the bridge right there. It was a blowed out bridge, and the current was just blowing through there, and never got a bite.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Well, one thing, it had been, it had already fell. How much do you think it fell? 8 or 10 foot?
Yeah.
I mean, it already fell a bunch up there where I was fishing. You know that, I mean, you could have went across that dam. I mean, it looked like it was so high.
He started the day with 2. You see that?
See there, look, it catches 2. I mean, I can't catch one, it catches 2 on the same day.
Oh, I finally caught one, I think.
Now, see, mine would have done flopped off that hook while I was weighing that one.
Did both of his count?
I think so.
We're on the board.
So speaking of that, I think that fish swirled on a buzzbait or flopper or something, and I pitched my feature bait back in and caught it.
You know why? Because it bit Wheeler's buzzbait the day before. That's why it didn't eat it.
Exactly. So,
Hey, look, I'm down there in 5th. Wow.
And I only one of Bradley's counted.
yeah.
Bradley Roy is in 4th with 1 pound.
Yeah, 1.
So there are other fish to be caught.
Wesley, are you going to catch the fish today, or are you just waiting? Is that...
I kind of try to wait till the last. I try to play catch up toward the end of the day.
You saving your good spot till later?
Yeah.
At least got a couple bites.
Waiting for the sun to get up there a little bit more.
That's right.
It's such a relief.
Just my way back to the trees.
Got too many ideas right now. That's one of the bad
Jason blow his hat off, you reckon?
Yeah.
I was noticing that fabulous hair that he had there in the previews earlier.
Did you guys catch what Christy was saying about it? He had so many choices and so many things he wanted to do. Sometimes that's the most overwhelming part of it. Because here I never fished there before, and that's Christy's backyard, and you got to be careful of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's your demise.
Yeah. Of
Or
course,
like
it
catches
did.
on a buzz
Just
bait.
to say something.
Huh.
Hey Wesley, by the way, that's right across from the ramp.
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at.
But yeah,
Look at the hair.
right there.
Nice job. Nice dude. Nice bro. I shouldn't make fun. I just wish I had that much hair.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'd show it off if I did too.
A clue and not the.
So you know what's interesting is watching this now is this year on the Bass Pro Tour, we went to the 2 pound minimum on all of our events so far. I'm really looking forward to going back to a cup where we go back to a 1 pound minimum, because that really seems like it would be easy to catch a few more. So
Dude, when you
hopefully
go
I'll get that
somewhere,
opportunity soon.
when you go somewhere you've never been, I mean, dude, you know how hard it would be to go somewhere. I mean, it's hard to go somewhere and catch a 2 pound minimum, unless you go to like Erie or somewhere like that.
Well, it wasn't that hard for Ott. You saw how he started the day, right?
Yeah.
And more times than not, that's what's funny.
Oh,
is
look, you got another one.
I like that. I like that
Hey,
1 pound, but I like the 2 pound.
What was
as
your
well with
favorite choice
practice.
right here? Was you still on the spinner bait?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, that is another. 213 even for a
Hey,
second.
what was your blade combination there?
Double wheeler.
Both silver, 3s, 4s, what?
I think
Yeah,
I actually was throwing painted blades. I think I actually had a white and a chartreuse blade, real
That's
small
always
one.
good in the fall, ain't it?
It is.
Really?
I like painted blades, especially when it's cloudy like it was that
Hey,
day.
see, look, I'm still going back to the jungle here, trying to get as far back as I can get.
Do that.
Wrong move.
That's what I was doing.
It's funny you say that about the
You had a wall with water coming over. Where I went, just went dry.
Well, that creek, I had no idea where it went. I just rode back through and I'm like, well, I can't go no further. Bam, that's the end.
See, that was the one time I wish we could use like Google Maps or
I
something.
wish
where
we
you
could every time.
I mean, you could just pull it up and see, hey, just the lay of the land, what the land is like around
Dude,
it.
I've said that from the start, and for lakes and cups and everything. There's no reason they shouldn't be able to hand us their iPad. We pull up Google Earth and look at it right there. Here's your zone.
Yep.
We'd all be able to, but we could all use it, man.
So hear that, fans? We can't even look at Google Earth when we're at one of these events.
Even with the good mapping that we got, you still can't tell what the topography of the land is. Is it trees? Is it rocks? Or what I mean? You can tell if it's bluffy or not, but you can't tell what type of.
There left me another one there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now he's just bragging on it.
Yeah, he is rubbing it in.
Look,
Is there a lot of?
I'm in the league, guys. Look at me. I'm stretching it.
Is there a lot of guys? Is there a lot of tournaments go out of that ramp? I guess.
That I don't know. I think if there's a boat ramp on Fort Gibson, there's probably a lot of tournaments that go out of it. But,
Dude, you know what amazes me about those lakes like Fort Gibson, Grand, all that whole chain down through there? Is it's more of a rock. It's kind of like Cherokee. Cherokee. There's a lot of bait too. There's a lot of bass in it. I mean, it's just like, is that because the water gets high and they spawn, they get all over to the fry to, fry for the
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, they our lakes are. I mean, they're nearly full now, which is rare. For them to be full or nearly full when the fish are going to be spawning. But those lakes there seem like they're always flooded, or at least they have been the last 6 or 8, 10 years. Every year when the fish are spawning, and that's got to help so much.
Every time I've ever been to those lakes, it's always been like, even if you don't catch a bigger fish, you always catch a lot of pound, a lot of bass.
Yeah.
I think during this one, I went over and done a deal at was it 10 Killer? Not 10 Killer. Yeah, is it 10 Killer? Right there next to it. Dude, I bet I caught 50 bass that were 8 inches long. It was crazy.
Yeah.
That one's gonna go.
Ott's changed his tune here a little bit.
Nice spot.
Yep.
Your spot.
I like that a lot better.
Fish my way back down there just a little bit.
Ott, did you just come out of the woods or whatever? Are you in camo there or what?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was trying to sneak up on them.
You went to a little bit in the morning or what?
Yep. Yeah, I'm Mossy Oak. See, the jersey is in Mossy Oak, and then those are my rain pants that are too.
Ah.
Has that Mossy Oak been hiding you from them turkeys, or them turkeys been hiding from you?
I finally got me one the other day. I've hunted for 8 days before I find Wesley got
on the board.
Yep.
On your buzzer.
I did finally get me one.
I can tell you this: that's the last one I catch on that boat.
I was about to ask that, Wesley. Was that one of those catches right there that leads you down the wrong direction of?
It's exactly what it did, because I fished for the whole period in there, and just like, oh, really?
And they weren't really eating the buzz bait. You got that one bite that kind of made you think they were.
Well, let's just put it this way: I didn't leave it in my hand because you only get one bite on it, and you go another 15, 20 minutes and don't get a bite. I mean, I flipped every piece of wood that was in that creek, and I don't think I caught nothing.
Man, that was a weird bite right there.
But you did. I mean, there you are catching another one.
Yeah. What's funny is that there was one lay down tree in there, and I bet I caught.
Hey, you know how bad I wanted to come hunt you down and just punch you in the face? Like that. I was like, I'm going to find him and punch him in the face.
Many times in these deals, I think we've all wanted to punch each other in the face in these deals.
No doubt.
It's amazing how you're just sitting there and you're like, what? How? How's he catching me? I can't even get a bite.
It's probably good that we are all in separate places watching this. Right?
Yeah. No, I wasn't that mad. I'm never mad at anybody because they do this. It's just that it gets frustrating. Like when you don't, it's like you're in a totally different lake. It's like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not that bad a fisherman. I don't think,
I don't think.
Just so you know, there's been many days where I've been on the other side of this, and I felt like some of you guys have punched me in the face. In fact, I think we just had one a couple weeks ago where Ott did that to me on the final day there at Lake Athens. So.
It was a late punch, but it was a pretty solid one. I'll say.
I'm just gonna tell you right now, that was one of the most fabulous hours of live I've ever seen in my life. I'm like,
yeah, that was
when you caught the first one. I'm like,
cheering. I could hear the fans cheering, and I knew it wasn't good.
It was cool. It really was, and the fact that it was right by the boat ramp, and all those people were there watching, and everything, that just made it even more special. But yeah, it was. When I caught, I think the second one, they come up. I mean, that whole school come up, and it was just. I don't know that I've seen a school of that many in that small of an area that were that big. It was just incredible.
That one should go. 1 pound, 2 ounces.
And I even had Aaron.
What'd you catch that one on?
I think it was on that spinnerbait too.
I missed
it. Looked like a crankbait, but
wow.
No, I don't throw a crankbait on a white rod. I think it's on the spinnerbait too.
Yeah, I seen the blades then.
Yeah,
dang, dude, you was all over them.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a bunch of them. So the dam is in the back of that. This is it come back out just a little bit, and there's actually like a fork right there. And there was some little old stubby like grass stuff that was maybe this tall, and then just in that much water, and it was maybe that tall. And you can see it right in there, and they actually would come up schooling on that every once in a while.
The water looks really good there. It's a good color.
That's where I was at,
it was like just
orange. Yeah.
See how much different it looks where I'm at? It's just like muddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that place I was fishing, dude. It was that pretty water in the back of a creek. You can tell it's filtered in rocks and stuff. For that thing, that's kind of funny looking.
I was in the back of Rock Creek where we went out of. I went to the very back of that one. Like I said, in '99, I caught
in there.
4-foot cup. So I was like, I know it's got fish in it. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
I devoted my whole first round. I'm gonna spend my whole first round in here.
I mean, in 20 years, it should have grown up.
Yeah. Good have.
So you were in the back of Rock Creek the first period, huh?
Mm-hmm. The whole I stayed in there the whole first period.
Well, it'll watch where I end up on the third period.
If you catch one in the back of that after I've already been there, I'm gonna be mad.
You are gonna punch him in the face.
That's what we love about watching these things, and you see how it all plays out, and you realize, man, I should have stayed.
Listen, this won't be the first time somebody came behind me and caught one. I promise you that. So
that didn't all seem easy when you sit here and watch it on.
See how bored my boat official is? He's eating beef jerky. He's like, I don't gotta talk. I can keep my face full of beef jerky.
Man, you're right in front of the boat ramp, ain't you?
Yeah.
Brent?
Oh yeah.
There's a squirt bill.
Uh-huh.
Now you're going to get to see some agony here in a minute. I lose a big one right off the ramp, right off the stinking ramp where we launch our boats.
Old Fat Joe Slim getting to work, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
There was a couple particular trees like that one right there. The current was hitting it. There was like 2 or 3 particular trees.
It looks like the water's just flooded out through just flooded out through a field or something. You know what I mean? But I know
like the
channels coming.
The creek ditch was over to the right. It was actually like an island, I think, if the water was down. So there's a ditch that went around one side and ditch around the other side, and then trees on the island in the middle was the way it seemed anyway. Of course, I was a mile from the map, from where the map showed water because the lake was so high. I was off on the bank fishing.
It made it difficult to navigate and decipher what you're actually fishing for sure.
There was so much stuff in the water. It was like, man, you couldn't. Like it was hard. When we get into the second period, I kind of get dialed in on something, but I run out of it. You know what I mean? Like I can't find enough of it to effectively fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you way up there?
Is that where you was at, all?
I was up near I don't know if that was where I was or not. It kind of looked like it. Yeah, it was. I mean, so it was up the lake and on the right.
Yeah, I know where it's at, but I didn't know if that was aerial. Oh, look, Ott's in the lead.
I didn't know if that was. I don't know if that was the same one I was in.
Hey,
Or if
you
that
see
was
where I'm at right there in seventh? That's about as high as I'm going to get for the rest of the day. I'm not sure.
held that down.
We feel for you there because that is not a fun place to be.
No.
Where Ott and I are sitting, that is definitely the best place to be sitting in one of these because you get to breathe a little easier. Where you're at, man, you're sweating bullets the whole time.
I think I do get above the elimination line a couple of times, but I don't know how far up it I got. I can't remember. God, this looks good where y'all were at, Ott.
I mean, dude, as soon as you turned off the river, that like run up the main river, it had some decent current and some color. But man, as soon as you broke into that creek, the bait was on the surface. I mean, from the mouth to the back, bait was on the surface.
I haven't seen cool shots.
Yeah.
That's one of those barely hooked ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for the little trocar hook there. It held him on there.
Absolutely.
Got him.
Sticky hooks.
1, 2.
See, all the way
I
on.
call him. I knew. There you go. The old trocar.
Yep.
We don't plug sponsors on this show at all.
No.
Love fishing boat ramps.
Uh-oh. Here it comes.
People are scared of boat ramps because they think all the traffic
Scared of boat ramps.
spooks the fish. But day in and
You ever
day
caught
out,
one when the boat's power loading off their
Oh,
property?
absolutely.
I have too.
All the time like that.
Really?
It's just like being below the dam, dude. Somebody loads their boat and then suckers, boom.
Yep.
Oh, wait. You didn't know that? Ah, dang.
Thanks, W.
Yeah, come on. Ott, weren't you doing that at Athens when you won?
Well, I was just running my motor around them. But,
Yeah.
But you know, I had actually thought of a way to do that long term. It was a little too deep for me to reach the bottom of my talons. But what I had thought was to like put my talons down and then put my trolling motor in reverse and turn it on high and just blow the current through there. But it was too deep to do that.
there we go. Stay on there, baby.
It's on the dock, right on the boat ramp.
They're going to start making them launch sites off limits.
Yes, yeah.
Watch this.
Gosh darn it.
Shouldn't have swung it, Grant. Shouldn't have swung it.
That was a good solid 4-pounder too.
That's all right. Swinging, take chances.
Yeah. That just makes me
I mean,
sick.
Ott swings 5-pounders at Athens. I mean,
I should have, and that's the thing. You never know on those deals. Here I thought I was going to do the safe thing. I'll just it was on a creature bait. Yeah, little 3-aught
really?
hook on it.
hey,
Everything.
it's at that exact moment when you think, oh, I got this one. That's when it comes
Yeah.
off every.
Exactly. When he came up and jumped, I'm like, I got you now. And then, yeah, sickening.
You follow this year on the first day. I lost on probably 7 pounds on a jig after under dock. And, man, I'd set the hook, dude. I'm smoked it, get it out like it comes up and kind of wallers. I sat down in the seat, it goes by me, and it just like barely shouldn't come off. I didn't even know how it possibly happened.
Off back of his waterfall.
Does that bring back memories? Does that bring back memories of the Upper Mississippi River?
As soon as I saw it, that was I was like,
did you ever throw your little swimmer deal in there?
I think I did. But I don't remember catching any on it. I'll say that I may not even have them in the boat because I wasn't expecting to fish that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But they were
one of these.
They were high in the water column. It was like 8 or 9 foot against that dam, but they were. The bites I got were top 2 foot of the water column. They were never down.
I think their dock has seen better days.
That's a fishy looking dock right there.
Pounder at least.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. What's Ott doing? Everybody at home always sees on TV when we try to guess what the other person's doing, we're never right.
It's always wrong every time.
Never right.
Think about what he's doing, and then I'll do the opposite, and I'll probably be right.
You actually wouldn't have been. I was up a river fishing some current, so
Was this still in the same creek?
Yeah, that was right around the corner from the ramp.
Yeah, it's some.
That was one of those deals where you just keep the trolling motor down at that point and just start fishing.
Yeah, because you done distance yourself enough. Like, oh, I got this.
2 pounds, 9 ounces.
That was fun.
I'm glad somebody was having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it won't be long and you'll be replaying it on that one.
Well, I ain't gonna do it on purpose. I ain't gonna do it out of anger. Let's put it that
There
way.
you go. You're going to do it on purpose.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it on purpose, but just not out of anger. I'll do it out of love, baby. I'll do it out of
It's
love.
all out of love.
Yep. I've done figured out in this fishing thing that there's 2 guys. If you beat every single time, you're either gonna win or be in second or close to the top. That's Jordan Lee and Ott DeFoe. Nothing against you two, but if you can beat those 2 every single time, your win percentage is gonna go way up.
I don't know about that. But
2 minutes, Josh.
2 minutes. We're almost to this first period.
I do feel like one thing with Jordan and myself is that we both we just I mean I've just got into hunting and turkey hunting and everything. But man, I like to fish. I enjoy it. You know, I mean,
Yep.
And I know you're both the same way too. And I mean that just makes you like it. You know. And
I tell you where we ain't coming.
Pretty tight, so
You should just come on down here and get you one of my turkeys out. I'll put you on the turkey.
You guys are working way too hard for your turkeys down there. Come up here and
see, it's dumb where he's at. They just walk around and
it's like coming to a catching lake.
Brent would die if he had to walk up and down these bridges that we do to get turkeys.
Yeah.
I saw a Wheeler's post there with old Andy Morgan helping him out. It took him 3 or 4 days to get him a turkey. I'm like, you guys are working way too hard.
Yeah.
It took me 8 days. I had a buddy here that went with me a couple of days. I mean, he's not an experienced hunter either, but I mean, it was 6 days of either myself or with Parker. And I mean, I've got my good buddy in Kentucky who works from Osceola, who, you know, told me a lot of stuff. But I mean, he wasn't in the woods with me, you know.
That'll get better. The later it gets in the season, the better it gets because all the hens will start setting and then they get lonely. And then when they get lonely, that's when they're susceptible to love talking.
Well, it was fun. I mean, the fact that I did it all, you know, that I basically did it all myself. Dude, for me, dude, that's a big sense of accomplishment. I mean, I felt like
somebody's never even hunted like that. That is, dude. That's.
Yeah. Now the place I'm getting the hunt's got a bunch of turkeys on it, but still, just the fact that you know I was able to do it all myself, I was pretty doggone proud.
You know what's funny about that is whatever kind of hunting it is, that and fishing go hand in hand though. Especially if you're new to it, you learn by process of elimination. You learn what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and the more you do it, the more success you're going to have.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what
I'm sure Tennessee turkey hunting is different than Kansas turkey hunting, and same thing with fishing. You know,
guess what he still is? Just like a bass is a bass, a turkey is a turkey.
Yeah.
Don't matter if it's Rio, Osceola, Eastern, don't matter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Have you hunted any, Wesley?
I've only went. I think I've went twice. I went yesterday morning. It's kind of cold and wind was blowing. It wasn't very good. That's pretty quiet.
Yeah, that was. They gobbled pretty good this morning on the roost, but once they got on the ground, I heard one at like 10 o'clock.
They're still henned up pretty good. You got to be about right where they pitch out the tree. I mean, you know, later in the day it gets good about noon, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. The one I killed the other morning, it was 4. I think it was Jake and 3 Toms that was together. And I'd actually seen the same group before, like 4 days before, in about the same spot. And no hens. I don't know if they just ain't many hens around or whatever. But it's about 9:30. That wanted that gobbled way off and ended up calling them and getting them to come in. And got one of them.
Did you have a decoy out?
Mm-hmm.
So many times in Major League Fishing.
Yeah.
I don't trust my gut instinct.
I ain't much no good on that mouth call. I make just enough noise that with the decoy, it's okay, I guess.
Right, that's what I do. I give them I'm not a good caller. I just enough to get their attention. There's Wesley's signature blue shorts there.
Yeah.
But one thing I found turkey hunting is get you a decoy that moves. That changes the game.
We can't do that in Tennessee, can we?
You got one you pull a string and pull a pellet. Yeah, you can do that. You can't have a motorized one, but you can.
Yeah, just any kind of movement. We'll pull. I got what you.
Hey, you know what? When I was watching this show, the first two rounds, this is where I ended up going. I went way up the river. I think later in the second round or third round. But man, the current was so strong. I didn't see that in the first two shows. Like it was so strong, dude. Like you could barely pull it on high.
And it wasn't like that in the morning. So going up there that first period, dude, the main river was slick. I mean, dude, it was not moving at all.
Blasting.
In the second
you had
period,
to tuck in behind something to stay there.
Yeah, the second period, I go up to there. I'm like, man, there's a little bit of current on this main river. I guess I didn't see it. Third period, dude, it was ripping.
Yes, sir, it did.
I pulled in on a place on that river in a current eddy and started throwing a spinnerbait. And dude, there was 9 billion white bass in there. Like you'd throw it and it just, like, oh, I'm getting ready to hammer these spots, and it never happened.
The momentum going.
But it's fun. But you don't want to do it in a derby.
Hey, wait a pound. I'd have been okay.
Yeah, I'm working my way back into Rock Creek there now. That's what I'm doing. I was trying to remember where I was fishing at, but I'm slowly creeping my way back there. And I think finally I realized, hey, maybe all those white birds on that one side mean something. Maybe I should pay attention to that.
Well, I'm glad if it works out for you, I'm glad it did, because I stopped on every patch of them white birds I could. Oh, look where Mark Rose is at. Huh. The ranch.
He's right. Oh, yeah. He's right there where I was in the morning. Nice of me to leave those for him.
Dude, typically in the fall of the year, you can get to some current where there's some rocks out like that, and you can catch them. And dude, it's just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
just little ones you're talking about.
Yeah, that's them fish like what Bird Train just caught right there. I remember catching way more of them than I did scorables. I mean, just a mess of them.
Oh, he's got a spinnerbait on. What?
Spinner plug.
Look at that. Rose is catching them right where I caught them.
Isn't
that crazy?
Your water. You ever seen him there, Brent?
No. I might have saw him when we came in for the end of the second period. He was saying, it's one of those things you look at it after the fact and you're like, why did I leave them? But it might all work out anyway.
We've got an area that's got them.
We're all guilty of that.
I tried to tell Wesley to stay right there, but he didn't listen to me. I left it for Wesley, but he left. He was looking for us.
Yeah. We are all guilty of fishing through a place, catch 2 or 3, and be like, there ain't that many there, and just keep going when there's untelling how many were really there.
I was really bad about that earlier in my career. Like I just blow through there and like that's not worth it again. And dude, the older you get or the more experience you get, you're like, you know what? I probably should go back through there again.
This little straight king rage bug, I just
can't. Yeah, he's right in there. Where I
found right.
Always good to get a little momentum going your way at least.
It's tough. Wait up for that. I figured it would be. There's quite a bit of current. We're all the way at the top end of this lake. There's quite a bit of current.
I was just outside the creek there, down to the right on that bluff, coming up that bluff back toward the Rock Creek.
That's where I started the whole deal at. And I never could catch them there. You'd think they'd be on that bluff.
Oh, they are. I catch what? Yeah. I might catch them and lose some.
That was the spot he was saving.
Yeah. I think it was Mark Rose's spot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe not suck to the bottom.
I can't believe old Lee had.
Oh, you're back on the goods again.
See, I'm back there. You know where that is, back there in Flat Creek. That's the other area back in there.
Yep. Oh, look. I had to go swim again.
Do you think y'all think the fishing had the lake been normal or low, do you think we would have caught them better?
Yeah. I mean, that I've fished. What have I fished there in the fall? Did we fish a?
Open maybe.
We fished a select there in the spring, but I fished an open there in the fall, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We would have caught them pretty good. They've been on those little flat rocky banks and isolated wood and stuff. That lake's got a lot of fish in it. You know what's exciting about that is Fort Gibson, and there's a lake up the way of it that fish very similarly. And they just announced our Red Crest event on Grand Lake, so that could be exciting. And look
at that big old fatty right there, dude.
That's a spot.
Oh my gosh,
that's a good one.
3 pounds, 5 ounces.
Wow.
I think that's my biggest fish of the day, and that's the spot.
Ah, that is beautiful, dude. That's a pretty fish right there.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather catch those as catch any species of bass that there is. I don't know why. I just got an addiction to spotted.
Oh, yeah. Brandon just passed me, too, knocked me out of the lead, so I just took it back from him.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. Yeah, no, West them spots.
We're trading jabs there. At that
I caught a 6-pounder the other day, a 6-pound spot the other day down here. Good.
See, that's the difference. You guys have the actual spots. We always called them Kentucky bass.
Well,
and I think they're actually 2 different species.
Well, we didn't used to. They just somehow started showing up. But man, they are so much fun.
Yeah,
those Sqwincher River spots are by far the hardest fighting bass there are, without a doubt.
Yeah. Is that you caught those days at its phone yet, Wesley, or no?
Dude, I took my little aluminum boat out the other day, and I caught one every cast for an hour. The first one was a 6-pounder. The rest of them were like 2. I caught about a 40-inch muskie too, but they were all pre-spawn. Water's about 49 degrees. It was good.
Hey, he didn't invite us on that trip though.
Yeah, I need to know where that boat ramp is.
Come on down. I'll take you right to it.
Yeah.
Sig Sauer success insight. Say that 3 times fast.
Yes.
How's he always got them binoculars? I mean, see, like,
he's creeping.
Trying to find something that
is Marty
way back on somebody or look through the bushes or what?
Yeah. Yeah. It's Marty the creeper.
I think that's one of them high dollars out of binoculars too.
Yeah. Some of them figs.
On the other hand, he's down late and he's fishing a pattern.
He's showing a buzzbait. I didn't catch anything on the buzzbait.
You know what I've noticed about your pattern? You found off everything you throw at. That's the pattern I've noticed about you.
Pretty much.
Is that what it was?
I mean, bush, rocks, boat ramp, docks.
That's how I like to fish. I like to put the trolling motor down and fish what's in front of me there.
I do too, but it's really good when you got a lot of confidence. When you get it rolling, you get confidence. You just pull up and catch. Like, I'm gonna catch one here.
It's good when you're in an area that's got bass in it.
Oh look, I'm fishing the dock. Guess what I ain't gonna catch?
That's crazy.
What they just ask you?
I don't know, but I would say it was crazy. That's just crazy.
Flies when you're having fun, but it also flies when you're not catching fish.
I think it makes him mad more than anything.
See, that's the one right there that surprised me more than anything. Like, he got off a really, I thought it was slow start.
I had no more figured out than what I had.
I mean, not as slow as me, but slow.
You don't leave fish to find fish. It's the easiest thing a tournament fisherman could ever say.
He knows that place.
I can't remember. Well, I don't know. I can't remember if he made it or if I can't remember.
He did.
I can't remember either. I think he did. I think he made it.
I know he made it because I fished against him the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Rose on his good stuff now.
Yeah, he's right out in front of the ramp where I was earlier.
There's some grass flooded right there.
See, I didn't even see that.
Little bean bushes or whatever those things are.
I love bean bushes.
Yeah. Apparently,
look at that stuff. That's pretty.
That's on the same side as the boat ramp we took off on too.
Yeah.
Oh, Strike King Rage Bug. Strikes again.
The old rage bug.
Well, hey, is this dragging on a texture crew? Do you have it on like a wobble head thing?
I don't know. I couldn't tell.
Call him up. Anybody got him? Call his cell phone.
Hey, after the end of this day, I want to take my shotgun, shoot every one of them white birds because they's liars. What they was, liars.
Rose won't remember what he called them on. He can't remember what he did yesterday.
He gets distracted if a bug flies by him. What?
Yeah. You ought to try riding in the truck with him when there's deer out in the field. They're about to run you off the road.
Oh yeah.
Wellstein.
W.
See, here's what I got on. You see that sycamore tree? If you could find an isolated sycamore tree by itself on one of those steeper banks, you get a bite on every one of them. But they were hard to find, and you'd lose a lot of them.
Got something figured out though.
That's a real specific pattern. That's kind of like chasing unicorns, almost sound like.
Or Michelin or General Tires 235 70 R16s or something. You know, it's hard to find.
What, Chris, you hit the cameraman there?
Chrissy just upgraded with the 111 according to Score Tracker. He's up to 4 pounds and 1 ounce.
Uh-oh, he's sneaking up there.
Against Jason, but
See, I wasn't even panicked at this time. I'm like, dude, I mean, 5 pounds in this place. That's, you know, you grow in on a bank, catch 3, 4 good keepers, you're right back in it.
Yeah.
Does that spot look fishy or what?
It does.
Oh, it come off. No, it didn't.
2 pounds, 1 ounce. 2-1. Beauty.
Didn't you fish that spot, Wesley?
Dude, after I think my demise was I never pulled on any of those little bitty short points and fished those points. I either had it in my mind that's going to be at the back of the creeks or on the main channel, so I didn't even stop fishing. I fished a couple of banks coming out of there, you know, in the first round, but I never did stop closer to the ramp fishing any of those points or anything. I never did get
that comment you just made, Wesley, that's a product of our raising.
I know.
That time of the year, we either go to the back of a creek or we fish the main channel and nothing in between.
Nope.
You know, and that's one thing to remember is points. When it comes down to when, you know, as big areas there were to fish, you still have to think of the structure that's there, and that, you know, one of the things, the point. Points always have fish on them, and
if you watch the first 2 rounds, everything in common with everybody that catches them is they're fishing, except for the right there by the boat ramp. Everybody's fishing like a secondary point or a point that has almost everybody catches them good. That's how they catch them.
Interesting.
That's something we like here at home. I don't do that. I don't.
No.
I never pull up on a point and fish it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not this time, not in September.
Got one.
Boom. One got it. Ate it.
1 pound, 8 ounces.
Pound and a halfer.
Mm-hmm.
See, now you're right there again, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you were.
That's like where Josh is. He's in that creek I'm in, but he's fished out halfway to the mouth of it. But what you can't see right there to his right, where he's fishing towards, is like all that was hardwoods and flat bank, and there was 50 yards of just flooded woods that went up into nothing. Right there where he is a clean spot. It's like a field. I don't know if it's a park or a boat ramp or something. It's actually out on the water, but it's actually a clean spot.
So he's fishing more isolated stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that, you know, that's kind of how it was right there at the takeoff where we took off from. They were a little more isolated trees, and now we're watching Rose catch them out there, and that's where we caught them in there that first period. And apparently I thought it was good enough and thought I caught them all out of there, and as Rose is showing us, that wasn't the case.
See, like where I sat right there, that would have been something that I would have fished because it's more open. You can get to the bank. Everywhere I went, you couldn't. Unless I got in the river, you couldn't get to the bank, like fish the bank unless you was in the back of the creek or something. But I never saw.
Wesley, are you saying Ott took your spot? Is that
No,
what it was?
no, not at all. I'm just saying. I wish I would have went in that creek if I saw it. I'd been fine, but I didn't go in there. Like after the first round, I saw him and Bertrand running, and I'm like, I'm not even.
Well, one thing that, especially those lakes out in that part of the country, that I've noticed, and Andy, I didn't make the Bull Shoal Cup, but Andy did, and we talked about it afterward. And then it's really kind of what we were doing here, but and I think it's something that people watching this, it's kind of a small detail that is easy to overlook, and I think we overlook it. But when a lake is flooded like that, you know, these lakes were flooded, but the rivers were basically normal by this point. You know, the rivers weren't still just raging.
Yeah, the rivers can only do this, up and down. They don't do this.
Right. And if you go, whether it's a creek or the main river or whatever, where the lake is flooded, Missed you another, doesn't it?
Wesley,
Well, the lake, well, the
gotta
lake
put 'em
is
in a
all up.
boat. You gotta hook them.
The lake's all up in all these trees, but you go far enough back in the creek, and you eventually get to where the creek is actually back in its bank, and that's like you were saying, that being open. I'm basically back in the creek, you know, and so it's something that I kind of learned.
Oh,
after.
there you go.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
But here's the thing too. The way that works out too is like this. In my experience with this, I mean, you probably have seen this too. When you go in the back of a creek, you're not just subject to catch them in every creek you go in. And the other thing I noticed is, if you notice how they'll be grouped up in groups. Like you might go a 50-yard stretch and catch a bunch, and then you may fish another mile and never get a bite, and then you have another stretch, 100-yard stretch where you catch 5 or 6. It's just it's weird how they stay together in those creeks. Or I don't know if they're all looking for the same thing or what.
Right. Yeah. Whether it's a pinch point or the bean. The bean, whatever it is always something. Whether we not figure out what it is, or something that comes.
Flooded lake like this with a lot of brush and timber in it, or you go somewhere like Florida that's, you know, nothing but solid vegetation. The thing to remember, fish are edge species. They love edges. You know, just as I'm cruising around here looking for fish that are obviously
edgy bass.
Edges, just like turkey and just like deer, right? It's all about the edges.
Well, it depends on if the rut's going on or not, Brent. You know.
Yeah. The rut, you just throw it out the window.
Yeah, you just throw it out the window.
Jason Christie's just caught another fish, 1 pound 4 ounces. His total's now 8 pounds.
Every time I see Matt Lee, I fished exactly. I say, I'm like, dude, I fished that thing. I didn't get bit there either.
See us how to run around. I ain't got a clue what a creek.
Still 3 pounds, 15 ounces out.
Yeah, that's the thing, Wesley. You're in 8th place right now, but I know how you're feeling. You're literally 1 bite out of the cut right now. So, I mean, your anxiety is going 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's just, you know, that 1 bite.
You just keep piling them on, don't you? Just keep piling them on.
But you know, with that spot, it was just that big giant flat back there, and those little secondary points, and that breeze was blowing across them. It just gets set up to be perfect. Pick up the spinner bait and cover water, and those fish were just coming out of those bushes on the edge.
I mean, here's the thing. I got dialed in on that flipper bite, you know, in that second period, and you know, I missed a bunch. I mean, they could have been little ones, who knows? But I've seen a couple of them come off. But when it's tough like that, you're better off. Like for me, it's better off to just put something in your hand that you love to do, and you just do it, and just keep doing it, do it. And that's why I'm like, they're not really running away with it, except for you and Ott, you crushing them. But I was like, if I can just, you know, generate bites and just, you don't have to win. You just got to get above 6th place. So,
well, so on my deal with that one, you know, it looks like I caught a lot of fish there, caught a lot of fish the first couple of periods, but I was kind of struggling. I started out good there right by the takeoff. And obviously, Mark's showing me that I should have stayed. But, you know, I hunted around there for a while, and I really wasn't getting dialed in. I kept telling myself, it's fall in the Midwest. Typically, the rule is they're going to catch them on a spinnerbait somewhere, somehow. And I kept throwing that spinnerbait around, and finally I got enough bites on it to where it gave me the confidence to just not put it down. And then I just kept covering water with it, and then it became somewhat easy. But, you know, you had to get dialed into it. And
I've still noticed that every fish you're catching right now is around the point, like somewhere close to the point.
Yeah. I said, take that, Ott.
It was tight. We were trading blows at that point.
Yeah. What size and everything on your spinnerbait? What configuration were you?
Well, it's funny you say that. I just happened to.
Here we go. I knew it was coming.
Show and tell.
It's just a half-ounce deal. Real popular here in the Midwest. Just a half-ounce chartreuse and white. But you had mentioned the painted blade. It's got a white painted blade and a chartreuse painted blade on there.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those deals for me. It was a confidence deal, and you know, once I got a couple bites on it, you know, it was just keep it in my hand at that point and cover water.
Why do you think? I mean, I know this too. Is in the fall here, those painted blades. No matter where you go, like white painted blades or short, it always seems to work really, really good in the fall. Why do you think that is?
I wish I knew. I throw painted
like the Alabama rig. It's just
I mean, dude, that's one of those big mysteries. But why a chartreuse and white spinnerbait? Because it sure the heck doesn't look like anything that fish eat. But
Yeah, it kind of does. It looks like a
it
looks like a threadfin shad.
Yeah, they've got a little bit of yellow on them sometimes. The thing I've always heard with chartreuse, two things on that. I do too. I throw painted blades. I throw them in spring, fall. I throw them all year long. But the with the chartreuse, and so much of what we use has got chartreuse in it. The thing somebody told me, I have no idea how true this is, but is that it's white or chartreuse to a bass shows up like high vis white. Like they don't actually see it as the yellow chartreuse tone that we see it. That it is just like a high vis version of pearl whites. I have no idea how true that is. The bass has never told me, but
I've often wondered how a scientist can determine what a bass sees in its eyes. Like how it takes in color or what the color looks like. I'm like, how do they know that? I mean, like, did they take a bass's eye and stick it up to theirs and look through it? So, I don't know.
That tidbit actually came from Don McCurdy, Wesley, so you can appreciate the amount of knowledge that went into that. So, Don is a very knowledgeable angler, but I mean, how right he knows he is.
Can you believe we're already through the second period already?
It's crazy.
It seems like we just started.
I think we need to give you a penalty. You was kind of scouting around there a little bit before you came back.
I was just trying not to stir them up too bad. I didn't know if that happened or not.
I want to make the cut.
There it is. 2 down, 1 more to go.
And yours are both safe can be.
That is an awesome point when you get to go into a round and just kind of have fun. I mean, I have not got to experience that very often.
There's no way you're falling out, both of you. You're as safe as down the home plate with the umpire or the catcher not even there.
Yeah.
And I fished this next period, but I knew the winner wouldn't fish the next day. I knew the winner would fish the day after, and I didn't want to unload my boat.
Hey,
so I mean,
now listen, this is a good deal. I'm like, when you're thinking that far ahead, you're going to make it to the next round. It's like, I want to finish second. I want to win.
So I at this point, I honestly did. I go back, I catch a couple more, and you'll see that. But I didn't. I'm not going to say I didn't try to win it all, but it was in my mind at this point to know if I win, I got to unload this boat for a day and then reload it. Where if I come in second, I can just leave myself in the boat and I'm fishing.
See, and that's why I wanted to win, because I knew if I made it and I won, I got to have the next day off, which means you get to get a little bit of sleep and all that kind of stuff.
Brent, don't tell him. I mean, you did get $5,000 for winning that round. You mean each winner gets $5,000 extra.
Really?
We'll let Ott not have to empty his boat. I'll take that.
Yeah, you don't need money anyhow.
No, if it had been $5,000 if it had been $5,000 on line, I'd have been swinging and bringing.
I mean, you can multiply Mark Gross's 6th place finish by 3 right now, and they still can't catch you guys. So, see, that's a good deal. That's a good feeling right there.
That's a good feeling. Good feeling. Yep.
Marty, it seems like I hang out around that area in Major League Fishing. I'm either
really
good,
Mm-hmm.
right around that cut line, but I'm going to go out this last period, work real hard.
I heard you in the second period. You said you had to regroup.
Yeah.
Talk about that process in one of these rounds.
I regrouped every 10 minutes.
You regrouped often.
Yes.
Every time I reach down to pick up a rod, I'm regrouping.
Yes.
Exactly.
Came back in for the break and caught something down through here, got me back up, where I needed to be. I'm going to do kind of the same thing I did.
I've always thought it would be cool if we could somehow tag these fish.
Yeah, me too.
Tag them from the first day, and we could see how many times the same fish were caught.
Yep.
No, I mean, you're saying that guys fish in that same area the first 2 days.
In these things, just one time, I'd like for a guy to be like, yeah, I watched Ott go in there, and or Brent go in there, and yeah, he caught him in there. So that's where I went. It's because they're hanging out there just once.
Right.
Just be honest like that. There it is. That's where I'm going. I'm not saying Mark Rose done it. I'm just saying just once. I'd like to see what one guy goes.
There's been many a times I've wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you just can't catch one, and you'd like to have some way to figure it out.
Yeah.
This whole thing, I just wanted to follow you and just sit and watch you for about 10 minutes, do what you're doing, so I could just go try to it.
People do that on occasion.
I had never done it, but I wanted to bad.
Right.
I had a guy do that to me up in Maine, which I don't blame him because it was a knockout round, and I literally had one fish to go out, and it was the second period. We went back in, and he basically went out and watched me the third period because he knew I was going to catch one and go out, and then he just picked up and started fishing from there. And I don't know ultimately how he did. I couldn't usually do that very good doing that because even if Ott's up there catch him off that waterfall, doesn't mean I'm going to be able to go up there and catch him off.
And when my thought process on that was, well, I can either follow Ott or Brent, but if I follow Ott, I'm probably going to get stuck or get stuck. Probably with Brent, I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to be out somewhere in the open.
Yeah, safe bet.
I think somebody ended up fishing back there by me that did okay. Weren't you back there with me in the final period?
I don't think so. No, I stayed up there, and then I came out on the river and fished some. And I remember going to another little pocket there and catching one, maybe. Yeah, I was up the lake still.
Man, this point look good. That's what my game plan. We're gonna stop here and catch.
They got a lot of current. That third period up the lake that current really got to roll.
Yeah, as you can see, that's where I was at. I was up there where the water was just blowing.
And what was crazy in there in Flat Creek where I caught them, there was no current at all. Those fish were just up on those.
Was that Flat Creek or Rock Creek? I thought it was Rock Creek.
Or Rock Creek, I'm sorry. Where we took off from.
Yeah, it's Rock Creek.
Rock
Pretty
Creek.
sure it's Rock Creek.
Rock Creek, Flat Creek, whatever. Same thing.
Flat Rock Creek.
Flat, there you go.
This really isn't that difficult, but it is. I'm making it difficult somehow.
Well, I know that feeling. That's where Rose was now.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Oh, look, he caught another one.
Over a bush.
Look, it's on the point. Imagine that.
Around bushes. On a spinner.
Dude, I just need to catch like two of the ones you caught, and I'd have been fine at the end of the day. Two for one.
That was nice.
That's a pretty one.
Came right back here where I caught.
And that was right. I think off one of those same points, I caught another fish. So how many fish were actually on those points? That, but it just kept going back and forth. How many you could actually catch? And what was funny is a lot of those points I tried flipping them, and I couldn't catch any flipping off of them. When you
how deep was the water where they were actually at?
I want to say like 3 to 5, maybe. Okay. I can't remember. That was a long time ago. I feel like I've fished a lot of bushes since that derby. Well, those outer bushes were what, 4 or 5 foot, weren't they?
That sounds about right.
I'd like to tell you, but I didn't fish any in them creeks, so
something needs to happen for
not like that.
I'm not far enough behind that I can't make it up. Just got to get a little something
You
going.
catch any off of those little pillars up there?
Now the hydro wave.
Dude, the current was like blowing. Like that ghost trolling motor, even as strong as it was, you could pull it, but it was just like, dude, you're like, how catch one out here and it's this fast? So,
Another normal spinnerbait on the point.
Yeah.
1 pound, 11 ounces.
It's fun at that point.
Yeah.
1 pound. I'm sorry.
Darn
1 pound, 6 ounces.
Darn
it, almost 1.5, but we'll take it. Let's go. This ain't the deal.
Oh,
Edwin never I watched it the other day, and Edwin caught him pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Reeling them in right here.
I'm talking about just standing on them.
Yeah. You remember it happening that quick, Brent?
You know how it is. It all becomes a blur at that point. At that point, it was just fun.
Time to slow down, and you just yeah.
This feels good. I needed this. I needed to. I haven't got the chance to fish much lately, but this just made me relive it. build that fix for a little while.
Yep.
Since I think we're supposed to have snow up here tomorrow night. Feels like wintertime up here.
Brent, you ain't got to run off and leave us. It's not very nice.
It was not nice.
Hey,
Just making us look bad.
what were you saying, Wesley? It's not you're not doing it out of hatred.
I caught 3 fish all day.
It was all out of love.
Yep.
That looks like a fun spot right there, though.
And it amazed me that I didn't catch more off of those rocks, man. It was just perfect.
Nothing on a shaky head or a drop shot in there? Surely
I
you
remember-
had one time.
Yeah, I remember catching 1 or 2 on it finally, but it
Wesley's
wasn't.
got one here. Is it a good one?
Hey,
What do you got, Wesley?
a catfish?
I can't remember the catfish.
Look like a catfish.
Dude, you know me, you never know what I'll catch.
Yeah, that was it a drum, huh?
I think it was a drum.
There's a lot of those in that lake.
Yeah, I think I caught. There was another creek. There was another dude. I was so after that first round, me not getting bit in those creeks. There was another creek just below that bridge. All that blowed out whatever trestle. Or whatever. I was so leery about going back in when it might have been the right deal. I don't know. I just wouldn't go back in.
What was old Matt Lee talking about? Something about sucking feet? Did I hear that right? Something about
I don't know what it was he said.
Suck a fat man. I don't know.
Good thing we didn't hear that one.
Yep.
Wesley, that looks pretty good right there. Shaded in the fall.
It was
Could
all
have got 20 pounds off of that little stretch.
Already adding over 7 pounds in this final period. Only the top 6 will advance to the sudden death round.
Yeah, me and Brent,
Never too late to make big moves.
me and Brent and Bertrand are breathing pretty easy at this point.
Oh yeah, but I can't remember if I make it in and then I fall out at the end, or I can't remember. I know I catch 2 or 3 more at least. I know. One of them's a pretty.
He's not necessarily the one you want to see advance.
No, he is not on that area.
Yeah.
Huh.
I'll never forget the very first select I ever fished. We were at Fort Gibson. I think maybe in that same pool. Oh, there's a spinning rod.
Yeah.
A drop shot fish or a shaky head fish?
Drop shot eater.
Oh,
Drop shot.
There you go.
You know you got confidence. You start swinging them on drop shot the nose. You're like, I don't care if I can't one.
Oh yeah. Hey, dude, I fished. That was probably a 10-pound leader on my spinning rod. It might have been 8, but I fished 10 a lot. I've been fishing 12 a lot this year. Dude, at Fort, I was swinging 3-pounders.
Find an area, or you can get off the pattern. And for me, it's been about this area.
That looks fishy. I can't believe you didn't catch 30 or 40 pounds out of that deal.
I think they'd got pounded already a day or two. No birds within there the first day.
Birds and Jordan Lee.
Did they fish in the second day? I hadn't watched the second.
I think it was the second round. I think they were in the second round. Yeah, I watched both.
Yeah. They acted like they had been fished for, you know. They wasn't just dumb.
You know, that's something that's interesting too to take into consideration, because we have to think about that too, because we don't know for sure if the first 2 days had fished in there or not. But like you said, you kind of felt like they'd been fished for, and that's something when we come into these deals, we have to consider that. Has this same area of the lake been beat on the last 2 days? And that's funny that you can kind of sense that, you know.
Yeah, same way in the Bass Pro Tour being Group A and Group B as well.
Exactly.
When you go back and watch the first 2 rounds of this, you're gonna be like, "Oh, dude, everybody, they all call them. You call them the same way and the same place."
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Amazing how we all kind of read and see the same stuff.
Yes.
We do.
An hour remaining.
Yep, we really do.
I can't sit around and die. If I'm gonna die, I gotta go be doing
I
something.
think Mark maybe was back there to sound that same area with me.
Dude, that looks like a good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, he had Wesley disease on that one.
Can't complain about that.
Yeah, it looked like a really good one though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I forced him. I think I forced him a little too hard. That one was on me.
You can't tell me there's not another fish right here.
That's one of those fish you just it's 50-50 chance. Do you let them swim around and go get them, or do you try to force them out? Sometimes it works.
Thoughts that run through your mind. Go change it up. Try to catch them quicker. This ain't the deal. Just catch one more good one and you're in. Stay the course.
Oh, wow. Stay off, baby. Yes,
Bob,
sir.
I know Bobby caught some up there. You know, when you took off from the ramp and you went up so far in the river, there was that long little underwater island, that long one.
Yeah.
That's where he caught some of his ass, on that island right out there.
That was pretty. I know past it when I was running up through there. I was like, man, that looks like the upper end of Douglas.
Looked like bull. It looked like Curd Lake to me.
Yeah.
In the same area, get another bite.
It's kind of like Leadville or Rankin Bottom.
Yeah.
What just happened right there?
Kicking my tail.
Those fish had some places to hide there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I had two bass back there and missed both.
Stupid.
Dude, I lost two out of that same tree. I pitched down, did it, set up, get about halfway out to come on, pitch back in.
So you had the bites that day to make
I had. I mean, I'm not making excuses, but I had bites to make it. It's just
I think those are the worst, is when you don't execute. And
no matter if you got something with switchblade knife on, you can't get them out.
What do you got that one on, Ott?
That's on a little flat sided crankbait. They caught some of the ones I scored in the second period was on it too.
Dude, that's why you use the trailer hook. I ended up going to catch them on the two.
That trailer hook. You got to use the trailer hook all the time. So that's a question. For me personally, I don't ever throw a buzz bait or a spinner bait in a tournament without a trailer hook. How about you?
See, I'm the exact opposite. I never throw a trailer hook unless I start losing.
Really?
I'm going to stay hung up. I would rather take a chance of hanging it and losing it as to have to get. You know, if you throw a trailer hook on a spinner bait the way you're supposed to, it's free swinging.
Yeah.
And you'll stay hung up more. I mean, I'd rather get the bite and lose it as to be able to hang up in the structure that I'm fishing and not even get the bite.
See, I would rather just put up with getting hung up more.
Yeah, but how many times have you been hung up and missed a 5-pounder that you would have caught?
Crazy.
Yeah. I kind of float the middle. So on a buzz bait, I never use a buzz bait with the skirt. I always use a buzz bait with the frog on it. So I never use the trailer hook on a buzz bait. Never ever anymore. Now on a spinner bait, I probably use one the majority of the time, but not all the time. If I'm rock or open stuff, I probably have one on it. If it's really heavy stuff and I'm fishing just right in wood, I probably don't have one.
That's what I was gonna say. If I'm in timber, if I'm pulling trees, I ain't putting one on. If I'm fishing on the boat docks or rocks or something that's open, I'll have one on.
Interesting. Yeah. I didn't realize I caught that much weight. Didn't remember that. I thought I caught like 25 pounds.
No, you caught him good. And what's funny too is, a day on the Bass Pro Tour, 30 pounds is kind of that's an okay day, but it's not great. Man, in a cup, you get 30, you had a good day.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately, we had no practice. Even some of us we might have been on that body of water before, but without practice, it definitely changes the game.
Right.
3 bites is all I need. We'll get 2 of them here.
Major league fishing is intense anytime, man. It's always like this. You're a bite in or a bite.
You know what, really, like on these deals, like you get down toward the end, you kind of catch one on something, and you've only got like 10 or 15 minutes left, and you know that if you tie this other bait on, that's probably going to be more effective, but you don't have enough time to stop and tie it on to be able to capitalize on what you just found. That's a good one. Crazy.
Yeah, and I've felt myself in that situation several times, Wesley, but I ain't gonna do it. Fight yourself, but then finally do it and go bam, 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 and it made it so easy. It's like, dude, that took 90 seconds to tie on, and now I caught 3 in 5 minutes because of it. So it's always anymore. I make it where it's always worth the effort. I always do.
Yeah, but
I've been trying to think of a way we could implement some kind of timeout. You know, where you could call timeout and you could get a chance to do that, because you don't. There's a lot of times I'm bad about it in the mornings. I'll have like a hoodie on and my rain pants and all that. About halfway through the first week, I'm sweating, and I won't even take the time to take the layer of clothing off. You don't want to take the time to do it, and thank goodness for breaks.
Yeah.
Just throw it. Just chunk it. Get to another
Chuck it.
Chunk it.
But
Who's
what
that? Is that Christy over there with you?
That's Christy right there. And that was what I'd said when I was leaving that creek. I kind of said what I said a moment ago, that I was, I didn't feel like I could win at that point, and there was really no benefit in winning. But if we fished back there again, I needed to figure out something else, because I didn't have any kind of pattern. I just was in a good area to go try to figure out fishing. Really, to try to help myself for the next round.
Across the board. I actually got some buddies that.
What in the world was he? See that?
Like a lizard, didn't it?
Christie, I think it's $69. 4 or 5 years ago.
It's some kind of creature-looking bait, but it looked like it's a shad color.
Was it a biffalo?
Biffalo.
I bet it was a Christie critter, but I bet it looked like a shad color.
Yeah.
Look, it's solid sit like metal.
Anyway, y'all can talk about your favorite restaurant or whatever.
You got about 12 and a half minutes.
It's long enough to catch a 5-pounder. Have some fun with it.
Marty Jr.
Sometimes you're the train and sometimes you're the track. You know what I was today? All track.
And we got Ott catching them.
That's Marty there. He's got his shoes on.
Marty, yeah.
We don't see us Joe yet.
What do you got here? Is it a big one?
I lost a big one in the cast before this. This is right at the very end. I'm like, God.
I mean, a good.
Square bill?
Yep. I think it was a P1, P1, their prototype one.
2 pounds, 11 ounces.
How big is the one you lost cast before, you think?
Dude, I never saw it. It just folded up and I had it and it came off and I'm like, it's probably a drum.
Nice, Wes.
Throw it back over and caught that one. I'm like, well, probably wasn't a drum. Don't end the program.
Anybody else want to stay in the dark? Figure them out.
Chapman.
So Jason's he's on them one of the main river islands out there. I had the current blowing across it when I'd seen you.
1 pound, 4 ounces.
Yeah.
1 pound, 1 ounce.
So I'd moved to a different little creek here. I remember catching one or maybe even 2.
1 pound, 2 ounces.
In the back of this other little creek.
That's one of those creeks though where you can get to the bank on it, which is such a key, isn't it? Where it wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's not funny, but it is funny. I'll just
so funny.
You know how tormenting that is to catch it.
Oh yeah.
Catch one and not even score and get the penalty too. That's what's so funny.
Are we done? Is that the whole day?
That's it. That's there. That's all the torture we could take, Brent.
Wesley, we feel for you, man. I know how that feels to be in that position. And
especially when you had the bites, I mean, it's one thing if you never got anything figured out, but man, to have had the bites is just another deal. It just makes you want.
It ain't like I just came in and gave some dog talk either. You can see, I mean,
yeah. And I think Matt's ready to go check out the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about the favorite restaurants.
Find some train tracks.
Yeah. I'm gonna lay
that was a fun day for me.
I'm gonna lay a penny down there on the train tracks in front of my house and let it mash it. I'm gonna etch Matt's name in. So here.
Yep.
Matt, 2019 Fort Gibson.
You're right. There's the track.
I'll lay one on the track for him.
Yep.
And well, look at that. Mark Rose finished 6th. He squeaked in there.
Squeaked in there.
I can tell you right now, I'd have loved to knock him out, but it didn't happen.
Yep.
Hey, Wesley, we wish you would have. Squeaked into that 6th place spot.
Yeah.
So why'd you go lose those fish? You didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
So
two of those that I lost was on that bluff out there outside the creek, and I went by and I had a bite on one of them 4-3. I throwed over there and it hit my chatterbait and I hooked it and I lost it. And I went, I threw a little old crankbait over there beside it again and I hooked another like pound and a half spot and jumped off of my.
Wow.
Yeah. You said you was going to be watching. You just got to, W.
What's that?
That was much easier to relive than to fish during during
that went by a lot faster than I thought it would have too. Finishing more.
Kind of how a day does in a cup event. Those 2.5 hour periods fly by too. So.
Yeah, have to go back in for the breaks and everything. Yeah, it definitely.
They go by a lot faster when you don't catch them.
And the good thing after today was it worked out the way it was. I got the next day off, and I got to just stay in the boat and go fish.
Yeah, I didn't have to load.
I got you in both house. I got to go to the house.
Yeah, hey, I do remember this though. You were shooting your bow out in the hotel parking lot, so I know you headed up to Kansas to go hunt, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
That's why you let those fish get off. You were
That's right.
to get hunting. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think that was September. No, the one. Yeah, I had it. No, that was at yeah, that was there, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah, you were out there shooting quite a bit, and
the next couple of things where I go straight from there to where you live at.
Yep, you were headed up to hunt. So
we just gotta get on. You need to come there and get you a bow, and we'll get you found in. And you'll just think.
You're getting stuck in that turkey hunting. You better be careful.
Yeah.
You'll be buying a farm and
he's already got the farm
and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, it's on the river here. We've got 14 acres, but it's all just open. And that's my dream piece of property was to be on the river. And Jenny's like, "You're wishing you'd bought 100 acres with some woods now, ain't you?" And it wouldn't have been all bad to have a pond with some woods, but yeah.
Well, that'll be your next purchase then.
Yeah.
Where you live, dirty on the river and go hunt public land and nobody can get it. So that one.
Hey, see, I told you I showed you that spinner bait earlier.
That's it, right there.
That's
with the trailer hook.
See that trailer hook on there?
Those get painted inside, aren't they? Gold on the outside and black on the inside.
That's painted on the inside.
Yeah, that's a Midwestern secret there.
Yeah, that's cheap. That's what that was.
The ours I like it painted just on the outside.
That it kind of gives the blades a little more vibration, I think, and it gives that little flash of that copper as well. So, when you don't know exactly what color, it just gives you more options. You just give them chartreuse, white, and copper.
So. That's the way I am with the jig color. I like a jig that's got like 6 different colors in it. And I'll have 4 colors in my skirt and 2 colors in my trailer. And I figure one of them will be right.
That's actually a good idea. If you don't know what color to pick, just put a whole bunch of them in there. I'm going to come up with a color like that. It's going to be a like rainbow colored bait, and I'm going to call it "Don't Have a Clue."
Exactly.
Don't have a clue. We'll just put this on.
Put some green pumpkins, chartreuse, black and blue, red, a little bit of orange, maybe some watermelon. Color good.
There's Marty again.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his shades on though.
Kind of twinning right there.
So it's fun when you get to do an interview with Marty at the end of the day. That usually means you've had a good day.
That's been a good day.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, well, on the other side of that, there's two sides of that.
But I watched you regain your composure, and then a tree later, catch a really nice scoreable bass.
Yeah, that loss hurt, but the way the day played out, it all
years of experience and confidence, and it's one of those things. Unfortunately, I think most of us have had that happen before.
Well, before we get to the end here, congratulations, Brent.
Well, thank you, Wesley. I appreciate that. And,
congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Greatly appreciated. And on a newer note, congrats again on your amazing win down there at Lake Athens. That was phenomenal. And Wesley, you've been in my position this many times, and I know you will be many times others.
No doubt. Yeah.
With that being said, this has been a blast, and we should do this. I like that. It's been fun.
It went way faster than I thought it would. It seems like we just sat down a second ago. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so,
yeah, a lot of fun.
Yes, it was. It was a good time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
What's next? I guess the next round is knockout round for Ott, and then knockout round for me. And I think I remember how my knockout round went. I can't remember how yours went, so I don't know which one airs next.
I know how mine went. It went great.
Yeah, and actually, sudden death. We're so used to Bass Pro Tour that's actually
sudden death.
We were both saying knockout earlier, but yeah, that's actually
they pick that's where they pick the weight, and we have to get to that weight. So that is a whole different roller coaster to talk about. Is when you get to sudden death round.
Sudden death is a different beast, dude. It's a different beast. You don't get rolling fast. You are feeling the heat.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so, no doubt.
Well, guys, with that being said, I guess that's a wrap, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Get out there, chase some turkeys, and in the meantime, we'll be figuring out where we're ever going to go fishing again.
All right. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next wherever we're at when the Rona's gone and all that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, when we get to go again. So yeah, no.
Out here, I'm gonna go stir crazy. Is all I gotta say. I got to go.
Thank you guys. Thanks to the fans who tuned in, and we'll be, on behalf of MLF, we'll be seeing you again next week.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks.
See you guys.